Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment, where we love pop culture. Now, growing up, and heck, even still to this day, my favorite TV show of all time is Married with Children. So it was only natural when I found out that Kelly Bundy, who was played by Cristina Applegate, was in a movie. I had to check it out. And that brings us to today's movie look back, and that's Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, released back in 1991. The movie stars Cristina Applegate as Sue Ellen, along with the actors who play her siblings in the movie: Keith Coogan as Kenny, Robert Gorman as Walter, Danielle Harris as Melissa, and Christopher Pettiet as Zach. The movie also stars Reiss Merin as Mrs. Sturak, aka the babysitter, Joanna Cassidy as Rode, John Getz as Gus, Josh Charles as Bryan, Jayne Brook as Carolyn, David Duchovny as Bruce, and was directed by Stephen Herrick. Now it's summertime, and Sue Ellen and her four siblings, you know what, they're ready to celebrate summer vacation. What makes things even better is that their mom is taking off to Australia for almost the entire summer, so it's party time, right? Well, not so fast, because Sue Ellen comes to find that mom has hired this sweet, adorable babysitter to watch them for the entire summer. Now, before the mom took off, Mrs. Sturak, she came off as this really lovable and adorable, sweet old lady who was just going to be there just to, watch the kids, make sure they were safe. But as soon as the mom took off down the driveway, the whistle is blown on Sue Ellen and her siblings, and they find out that this babysitter, well, she's going to be running their summer vacation like a boot camp drill instructor. Now, well, Kenny, the older brother, he's not having any part of this. He's out partying with his friends. He's going to enjoy his summer. And the four other siblings, unfortunately, though, they're the ones that have to put up with the wrath of Mrs. Sturak. But it doesn't last for too long, because, the old saying in South Park, you kill Kenny. Well, Kenny kills the babysitter here, because poor Mrs. Sturak, this sweet, old, innocent old lady, she goes into Kenny's bedroom here, and she takes a look around, and she cannot believe what she sees. And this is what causes the babysitter to die. Now, instead of calling the authorities and doing the responsible thing, what they decide to do with the babysitter is put her in a crate and just drop her off at the morgue. They put a little note on there that says, "Sweet old lady died of innocent causes." And why do they do that? Because they debated that if they call the authorities are going to call mom, mom's going to come back from Australia, and then their summer will be ruined. Now, while the kids plan on having the summer of their lives, they come to the realization that one thing is missing, and that's money. Without money, come on, there's no summer fun. So Sue Ellen and Kellen, they debate it out, and they decide that one of them is going to have to get a job. So what do? They flip a pizza box, and unfortunately for poor Sue Ellen, she loses and has to go get a job. And what job does any teenager have to take as a first job? Most likely is a job at a fast food restaurant, and this job is at like a place called Clown Dog, where they serve like these really nasty chili dogs, and she's forced to clean up slop and work for this horrible boss who is one of the most annoying characters you'll ever meet. But Sue Ellen, she can't take it, and she ditches the job after just one day. Now, while she's there is at least one positive. She meets this young man, Bryan, who she will have some summer love with here in the future. With no income coming in, Sue Ellen realizes she still has to go out and get a job to make things work for the summer. So she decides to ditch the whole fast food or dead-end job and go look for something that she's passionate about. And what does she love? She loves fashion, but she comes to the realization that she's not qualified for any of these jobs. She's still young, she's still a teenager, but with a little creative tinkering, she might just land that job she's been looking for. Now, Sue Ellen goes into this fashion company, and she's only applying for the job as a receptionist, which is held here by Carolyn. But Rose, the manager, comes out and reads over her very creative resume, and she actually offers her the job of executive decision, much to the chagrin of Carolyn, who was actually supposed to get that job. Now, Sue Ellen's job as an executive decision does come with some perks, and one of those being having the access to petty cash. So she figures, with some cash in hand, she'll be able to at least take care of her siblings until she can make some money to put it back. But what happens when you put cash into the hands of irresponsible teenagers? Well, it's gone faster than a blink of the eye. Now things were going very well for Sue Ellen and Bryan, the guy from the Clown Dog fast food restaurant, until Bryan is very insistent one night on taking Sue Ellen and his sister and her boyfriend out on a double date. And the reason why it comes to a screeching halt is that Sue Ellen is able to put two and two together, and she realizes that Bryan's sister is Carolyn, the woman who she stole the job from at the fashion company. Now, while things at the job have seemed to be going good for Sue Ellen, she gets word that the company that she works for is on the verge of collapse. And Sue Ellen tells Rose the reason why is the clothes that they make for these kids, they're not very fashionable and kids don't want to wear it and they need to change things up, and she has a big idea on how to make that happen. Now, Sue Ellen's big plan is to put on a fashion show on a budget and show off some of her styles and what she thinks will save the company. Now, she uses her house as a location, and she even gets her siblings to finally come together to save her and to save their summer so they don't have to call mom, so they can earn some money and Sue Ellen can be successful. And even Kenny gets in on the action as he finally cleans himself off and acts as a waiter. So it's a really nice story here that, like, all the siblings, when their backs are pushed against the wall, they all come together for a greater cause. Now, the fashion show is a huge success and it looks like it's gonna save the company. Even though the styles here are really outrageous and really colorful, it was the 90s, so the more outrageous it was, the more popular it was. Now, you gotta have a little conflict, right? And that's when Bryan here decides he's gonna come back and declare his love for Sue Ellen. And how does he do that? Well, by getting on the hot dog truck intercom and saying, "Sue Ellen, I wanna be with you," which of course lets Carolyn, his sister, who's in the audience, know that these two, it's created her worst nightmare, and then these two are actually dating. Now, while the fashion show has been a huge success and everything should be great, right? Well, mom has come home unexpectedly and she takes a look around and she's like, "What are you guys doing? What have you guys done to my house?" And more importantly, she asks the question, "Where's the babysitter?" Now, do I recommend watching Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead? Yes, I do recommend checking out this movie. Now, while it's mostly like a dark comedy, it's also a feel-good movie at the same time where all the family comes together to work together for one common cause. Now, while currently it's not streaming on any of your favorite platforms for free, you are able to rent this movie for as low as $2.99. Now, being a Married with Children fan and having Cristina Applegate star in this movie is what drew me to see it in theaters back in the 90s. And that's why I like doing these movie lookbacks here in 2020, to take a movie that I once watched and loved, or maybe I didn't like so much, and rewatch it again and give it another shot and see how well it's aged. And I have to say that Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead is still a really fun and good movie to watch even here in 2020. Now, there's actually rumors that they're gonna reboot Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I'm not sure how I really feel about it, but I feel it's a kind of movie that could get a reboot and could be good if they do it well enough. It's not like The Goonies where they should never touch it, but I think a reboot of Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead could be a lot of fun. Now, have you guys ever watched this movie? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about it, and also let me know what you think of a possible reboot to Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Now, I had a lot of fun going back and rewatching Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, and we're going to continue with, I guess, the Dead theme as I look at a trilogy of movies here on Toned In Entertainment next week, as I go back and rewatch and review the I Know What You Did Last Summer trilogy. So guys, if you like movie lookbacks like this, make sure you subscribe here to Toned In Entertainment for those future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.